to start cussing.
And we start our top 8 feature match. On the left, it's Chad Watson. He had a very adventurous winning in match in which he cast Brave the Elements on a green creature and then tried to cast multiple white spells on a creature he thought was pro-white, but then it turns out it wasn't pro-anything.
We stalked him.
And then he had a Skullcrack in his hand the whole time and was going to win anyway. But he's playing Brave Naya, so the Brad Nelson deck on Star City. His opponent is Alec Myers, who we're well familiar with. He's playing Red-Green Devotion. Chad going turn 1 Dryad Militant into turn 2 Fleecebane Lion. Got to drop to 16 to do it off of 2 Temple Gardens. But Alec going with a Frostburn Weird into a Boros Reckoner.
Judge is still only bailing over?
Yes. The Fleecebane Lion is 5 to monstrous, 3 in white and green.
Yes. As I sit here and sort through my legacy deck.
Well, I mean, you do what you got to do. Got to get ready for Star City Cincinnati coming up on the 3rd and the 4th.
Probably want that back.
Yeah, I do.
Tried to steal a Tile. Tried to steal with the Tile color. I get to keep that at the end of the game. New rule.
So Chad deciding what he wants to do here. He's got access to 2 mana. He played that Boros Temple. What'd you say it was? Temple of Triumph. Played it instead of a 3rd land untapped if he had it. Decides just to pass back. Can't really make any headway against the Reckoner and the Dryad Militant here. So here's the point where if Alec has a Nykthos, he can just go nuts, right?
Yes.
He's got access to 6 mana if he plays a Nykthos. And he does not. He doesn't have a 4th land at all. It just adds another Frostburn Weird to the board and passes back. So Chad untaps for 3 mana. And there's a Soldier of the Pantheon, which would have been pretty good in this situation, as every card Alec has played has been multicolored. This is the kind of board that Alec can overlord a Mizzy Mortars and just wreck. But of course, Alec, I don't even know if he plays main deck Mortars.
He plays 2 in the main.
So just passes back. Alec looking for some business here. He's clogged up the ground well. Interesting. Alec's going to use a Brave the Chad's going to use a Brave the Elements to save his Soldier of the Pantheon, giving it pro-red. I guess Mizzy Mortar is not nearly as good against the Brave deck as they can.
It also just spends 2 mana to basically get a Brave out of his hand, while Alec has 3 red creatures in play. Monstrous, the Fleecebane Lion. So the Fleecebane Lion either going to be a very good attacker or a very good defender. And of course, the Soldier of the Pantheon can get it for free.
Yep. As every creature Alec has on his side of the board is in fact multicolored, so it's basically a 2/1 unblockable creature for most of the game. Alec scries one to the bottom with Temple of Abundance, or Temple of Abandon. And he has one of those awkward draws. This Red-Green Devotion has some of the most broken draws in the format. It also has a potential to just peter out like it's doing here. Absent a Nykthos, it struggles to... looks like Alec has a hand that includes a Xenagos, but without the 4th mana to cast it.
Probably has a Storm Breath Dragon in his hand too.
So Alec going to serve in here with the Frostburn and a Boros Reckoner. Just going to pump it once, leaves 2 mana up here. So gets in for 5, dropping Chad down to 9.
So it could be another Frostburn Weird. Really not a lot of stuff in instant speed that he can play with this deck.
And a Burning Tree possibly.
There's another Mortars.
Yep. Mortars on Soldier of the Pantheon. Wild Chad is tapped out, so no shenanigans. And Alec taking that out. You even remember when the Fleecebane was not monstrous, choosing to go after the Soldier, because he can't block it with the current board state that he has. At some point, he can start chumping that Fleecebane Lion. So Chad can attack in here with his Fleecebane Lion. If he does that, he's very close to being dead on the way back. Because of the Shocklands, he had to play his first 2 spells off of 2 Shocklands, so effectively Boros Charming himself to get to this point, allowing Alec to take this relatively low intensity draw and really put Chad to the brink here.
You don't have a life total for Chad.
Well, he doesn't have any life. That is a good point.
Chumpsies.
Alec decides to chump there. But what's going to be scary for Alec in this point is that Chad's got a million cards in his hand, and we've seen how most of his cards come in at instant speed. You know, so he could very easily have Advent of the Worm here.
Bestowing a Boon Satyr on the...
Yes. Mm-hmm. Alec does decide to serve in.
Well, it's safe to attack with the Reckoner because if some big creature jumps in the way...
Yeah, just kill something else, or just go straight to the...
We have an Advent comes in and blocks that Reckoner. Yeah. That's going to take 5.
Yeah, the Reckoner, for all intents and purposes, is unblockable as well.
Yeah, actually, if he's just dead if he does that, because the Frost River can pump to a 4/1.
And Chad's also an interesting point here too, because he doesn't know exactly how much mana he's going to sink into that Frostburn. This could be an attack for 6, or it could be just an attack for 4. Then Alec uses his mana in some fashion.
Yep. Fanatic.
Like, for example, a Fanatic to kill you.
Like, if I'm Alec, in my head right now, I'm just going...
Like the dog from, like Muttley from, whatever that show was, that featured Muttley. So Alec gets in. I mean, and again, Chad not in a spot there where he could really do anything favorable. I mean, what are his options there? Boon Satyr. Boon Satyr can come in, can block a Frostburn weird. It can die, so it basically just fogs. You know, you can block the Boros Reckoner, but then you take 4, or you can make an Advent token, and then you take 5. It's even worse.
Yeah.
You know, none of your reactive spells, none of your Brave the Elements or Boros Charms do anything in that situation.
First Dragon's Maze. I was up at 6 o'clock in the morning, and I've worked 12 hours today.
Yeah, I've driven 10 hours in the last 2 days, and my job is not professional driver. Well, welcome back to Let's Whinge About Our Week. On the left, we've got Chad. He's down a game in this quarterfinal feature match. He's going turn 1 Soldier and a turn 2 some Voice. So he's off to a good start. His opponent is Alec Myers. So let's see how many Burning Trees he has. He has none, but he does have an Ashes Zealot.
On defense.
Which makes both of those creatures pretty abysmal. We'll see if Chad wants to burn a Brave to get in 4 damage here.
He might just attack with a Voice.
He
might just attack with a Voice. I don't think he blocked there.
Yeah.
I would have definitely held the creature back until after combat. Yeah, I don't think he blocked there.
Yeah. The sequencing there is those RPG guys are very loud. Sequencing very important there because you can feign whether or not you're making that a 3/3 token or not. If you attack as the board sat before when the turn started, it looks like you're just swapping out a 2/2 for a token that could get bigger. But this way, Alec knows
you're also feigning Brave. Like, you can kill the Ash Zealot.
So here is a Burning Tree.
Gain 2.
Gain 2. Here's a Nykthos activation for 4 mana. Searing Blood on Soldier of the Pantheon. So loot man down.
Net loss
Take
1 life.
3. Yep. But Alec's still managing to. I mean, the board situation has not gotten any better for Chad here. We'll see if he has his 3rd land most importantly here. But the situation is still abysmal. I mean, you can serve in here, and Alec's going to have to play around Brave. But like, I mean, this is if we start racing against the Stormbreath Dragon deck, like, you're going to lose. And Alec's at the point now with his Devotion, with the Nykthos online, he's not going to be losing dudes. He's gladly just going to take 4 here, I would think.
You don't block here. You have the Nykthos online.
Yeah,
and
so
if
just
he's sitting both creatures in, he's not going to have any blockers back, and you can trade 4 damage for 4 damage at least.
Yep. Well, he has Selesnya Charms, possibly. But more importantly, like you said, Alec's got Devotion online.
Alec also hasn't missed it. I mean, neither player's missed a spot on their curve yet. Alec has.
Well, Chad did miss his 3rd land there. Uh-oh, that's never good.
5 mana.
For Zenagod.
Well, the
Yep.
Burning Tree, since it does not have first strike.
Yep, this plays around the Selesnya Charm token. So we've got a 4/2 Burning Tree and a...
It's a 4/4. It pumps XX.
It does pump the backside too. Wow.
But it's just based off the power.
So is Zenagod the only card in that set that was good? In that cycle?
Pretty much. Ifara, people try to make it work for a while, but...
Magus people talked about a lot, but it did not do anything.
The John style decks aren't very good right now.
I think the black-white god from the new set is going to... That ability's too good to not...
There's 2 3-mana gods in that set that are both very, very good.
Alrighty here. So we serve him with the soldier. Can't block it because the Xenagos is multicolored. It is online here. There's a Domri, so we're probably going to be fighting something, right?
Can't fight the soldier.
Fighting the voice is not really advantageous, so he just ticks it up. Looks for a creature. Did not find one, right? So how much mana are we floating here? Oh, we can't. We're not. Yeah, we're floating mana, right? 2, 3, 4, 5. 5 into green, so
He's floating
3 red. I guess the perfect draw there is to find a Reckoner, play the Reckoner, give it haste, and then go to work, right?
We had Anxious Platypus. Trigger the Burning Tree on the snare. Attack with the Xenagod too.
So no profitable blocks here. I guess you could block the Burning Tree and then Selesnya Charm your voice. So trade there, get a token. So it looks like a pro red there, so take 4. So basically trading your, using your Brave the Elements as a fog basically in that spot.
Now here's the point of the game that I don't feel sorry for these decks that run 22 and 23 lands.
We haven't seen Chad on camera a lot in the last few months, but we've seen Alec a lot, and the games he does lose are the games where his mana base just poops itself.
Yeah.
And like you say, you can't run you can't play a mono red cube deck with 15 mountains in it and then be upset when you never draw your second one.
Right.
Because those games where you draw nothing but business, you don't remember those games. You remember the ones where you lose.
So we attacked with the voice.
And then Alec at this point feels comfortable enough to do that because now he can fight if he wants to.
Yeah, and Chad obviously representing us.
1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6. So 6 mana here. Chaining a Nykthos. Go down to 4, back to 10. Overload Mizium Mortars. 4 mana floating. Still has access to green, so can still do this into Nykthos if we want to. Or into Xenagos. Just like... This is perfect, isn't it? That's more than enough. So
I feel like the Xenagod's going to get exiled, though.
Yep, so there's a Satyr token, and Chad has nothing, so stuck going on. Oh, it's Domri's in that deck, too. I guess that's good. Most of your deck is creatures. So Alec Myers does what Alec Myers always does, which is win a top 8 feature match. So some rough draws from Chad there, but them's are the breaks. So I'll step outside and see where other feature matches are, or other quarterfinals are, and we'll go from there.